this is where we do have the potential for this rotation making its way over your region. A lot of wind energy associated with this storm, and we are seeing some rotation, hopefully not making its way down to the ground, but that potential is there. That's why we want to make sure you are prepared for that potential into Effingham, into Jasper County, with that warning going for the next several minutes here. So let's see, we'll take a look at there's the look at the radar showing you a lot of rain associated with that as it continues to move into parts of Effingham County. But it's really been the wind associated with this. Again, Bullock County, you are no longer under a tornado warning. You are fine. That warning is really just going to be for Effingham and now extended into Jasper County. And you'll put a tracker on it. Put it back from the velocity, though, because it's hard to see. This is looking at the reflectivity, showing you where all the rain is. You look at the winds in there, and this is where we're seeing that rotation in this general region right here, approaching the Springfield, and it's moving east pretty quickly. I think it's about 45?
Yep.
45 miles per hour, Jamie says, and that will put it over into parts of Jasper County, it looks like, as it continues to work its way out, generally towards the east. We'll put it up a little bit more towards Deerfield, into the Hardeeville area. This storm is going to be getting into Springfield by 7:39, into Rankin by, which is right now really, Rankin 7:47, Hardeeville 7:59, and Limehouse by 8:05 if it holds together. Again, these circulations like this normally don't last that long, but we'll continue to follow this one as well. Let's put the warning back on if you're watching over in there. How long does that warning go to again? The new one?
The new one, well, that was extended to 8 o'clock, and
Yes.
then the one into Hardeeville, 8 o'clock as well.
Yeah, so that's been extended now into the 8 o'clock hour. So any other reports over there? You got the chat
I don't see any reports. You know, if you're in Springfield, I'm sure all the first responders are taking cover. I have not seen anything, and that's in the county seat. So you've got EMA up there, the emergency management. Emergency management was on the chat earlier, so they've been well aware that these storms could produce tornadic activity. You know, the tornado watch wasn't put into Bullock nor Effingham County until that about 6:30, Dave. So that was a bit of a switch up, and hopefully people were keeping alerted. You know, this storm system has been a little difficult to track. We've had rounds of rain. We've had severe weather. Our first alert weather day continues until 10 p.m. until this watch goes away. But here's where we're looking at. This is a new scan, Dave, so this is looking a lot different than just that last 2-minute scan out of Springfield, where we were seeing that really high wind and the velocity here on our map. So Springfield's still under the tornado warning, but it looks like the bulk of this is moving down 21 into the Ron's Station Road area, Ebenezer Road, we'll get street level here, Lewis Ron Road, Zetter Road, Ralph Ron Road, Buckfield, Ron Station Road, Milton Ron Road, and along 275 or Ebenezer Road. So this is making its way into Rankin. You are probably getting those really gusty winds, and hopefully in your safe space, because that tornado warning was extended into Rankin, into Jasper County as it continues to kind of make its way down 21, but to the east towards Jasper County along 21 through Deerfield and Hardeeville.
Yeah, and we're looking at this right now, and it looks like there could be kind of like two separate little areas. One here now crossing over into 275, well east of the Springfield area. You see a lot of that wind energy associated with this, trying to wrap into the storm. We have another one back over here, which Jamie was talking about, into the Ron's area, just to the west of 21. So a lot of wind energy associated with this, and this is going to continue to make its way very quickly through the Stillwell, the Birds, the Rankin area, through 21. Within probably the next 20 minutes or so. It's not going to last all that long as it's moving quickly at about 45 miles per hour. And you can see we actually have 2 tornado warnings embedded in there. The first one goes through 8, and the other one has really been kind of extended, an extension of the original warning, which includes parts of Jasper County, including Limehouse, Hardeeville, and into the Deerfield area, and it all goes through that 8 o'clock hour. So time is only 7:42 right now. We have another almost 20 minutes to go for this warning to continue. And we are looking at this area right now. If you're watching back over into the Guyton area, you're fine. Pinora, this has already passed your region. But we're looking at now into Rincon, moving south of Springfield. So if you're anywhere south of 119, you're okay. But it's going to be this area here as you're getting out into the Industrial Boulevard, Log Landing Road, Lewis Ron Road. That's where we're potentially seeing some of that rotation continue to work its way eastward, down 275 into the Birds area. And there's a lot of wind. We can see that with the wind right here. That's where we have in the blue color. That's indicating some very strong winds. So even if we're not seeing that rotation making its way down to the ground, or we're going to be seeing some very strong winds, which could be easily 50 to 60 miles per hour embedded with this storm. You see some of the velocities there. That's a little bit above into the atmosphere now, but some of that certainly with that heavy rain, any thunderstorms have the updrafts and the downdrafts can easily support those winds over 50 miles to 60 miles per hour associated with this from Rincon heading up towards south of Stillwell. Stillwell looks to be, going to be okay. But right along 275, it looks like, is going to be the main area we're going to be watching now into the Rincon region and then working its way down 275 into the Brookstone Way, in the Colonial Drive, the Waldower Road, Long Bridge Drive. These are some of the streets which are in the path of the circulation, which has a tornado warning. So you want to make sure that you are weather aware. Make sure that you know where to go to keep yourself safe. If we do have that rotation making its way down to the ground, we're still not getting any confirmation from the Weather Service. We're not hearing any reports of any type of damage coming into WTOC, which is great news.
One tree down near Leafield, and that was Bullitt County. That's where the original warning originated out of.
Yeah, so that's where the original, we talked about that very strong gusty winds. We had a tree down, and that easily could come down with the 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. But thankfully, hopefully, we should keep our fingers crossed that this rotation is not making its way down to the ground. Still has that potential. We want to make sure that you are still prepared and alerted of that, because we still have that tornado warning now going here. As you can see, that kind of combined that warning now. And that still, I believe, is going to go through the 8 o'clock hour. It includes the city of Rincon. It includes Hardeeville into the Deerfield area, and Limehouse in Jasper County. You are under that tornado warning going through that 8 o'clock time frame. And the reason for that is we are seeing that rotation, the circulation inside this storm. When we look at the velocity here, and that circulation is certainly now moving right along and pushing east of 21 into the northern areas of Rincon right now, along into the Stillwell region, kind of the southern areas of Stillwell, right down 275. So that's the main area we're going to be watching right now. Very strong winds, possible rotation embedded in this storm right now, crossing to the east of Highway 21. And this is working its way east. Let's go ahead and put a tracker on there, right? It's 45 miles per hour. We'll put a tracker on there, heading out from Birds, and we'll put it over towards the Deerfield and the Hardeeville area. And we'll see what the timing of that is. It's 7:46 right now.
You want me to put the velocity back on and
Yeah, it's
track
probably
that?
going to be better
Yeah.
because we can see exactly where the circulation is.
Okay.
We get a lot of rain, but that's not the severe part of it. Okay. It's going to be the circulation right here along 275, and then we'll track it out eastward into Deerfield and Hardeeville. So getting into Hardeeville, 7:57, Jasper, 8:06, the Exley area at 7:46, and Stone Landing at 7:54.
I'll zoom in and do that a little bit better. We can get
So
more
we can
people
kind of
involved.
see where we do have that rotation in here, crossing over Highway 21. So we're seeing some very strong winds embedded in here from Rincon northward, and we're easily going to be seeing 50 mile per hour winds, it looks like, in that area. That's enough to do some damage to some tree limbs and some of the weak trees out there.
Confirmed tornado located over Ebenezer. So Dave, let me talk about this a little bit. So this is a confirmed tornado on the ground. This is along Ebenezer Road, 275, and it is confirmed located moving east at 45. A spotter reported the tornado along Highway 21 near Rincon. So that seems to be a little bit conflicting because Ebenezer is just north of Rincon, but if you are in that area, we'll go Rincon north all the way through this area heading out of the city. So that's along Lexington Avenue. This is very heavy populated as the city of Rincon. You could see on the right-hand side of 21 being a little bit more populated and seeing that rotation from Rincon to Ebenezer Plantation Way. Several subdivisions out there. I think this does include the golf course. This is just north of Fort Howard Road. So I think it's Rincon north through Lexington and along Ebenezer Road, Mill Pond Road, near the middle school and the elementary school, all the way down to the paper plant, all the way down to the Old Augusta Central Road. So this includes a big chunk of Ebenezer, very heavily traveled and very heavily populated, where the elementary school and the middle school is. Some very nice areas and some very large trees. So hopefully you're in those safe spaces and hopefully that you're seeing and not seeing a lot. This is the very next scan now, Dave. We have a very new scan in here moving continuously to that northeast. So already seeing the report of the tornado, Rincon or near Ebenezer Road, and now looking like it's about to cross the Savannah River into Purrysburg.
Yeah, and it's still moving quickly, again, as you mentioned, at about 45 miles per hour. So this is a very fast-moving storm. Again, confirmed tornado into Effingham County from a spotter. One of our trained spotters, apparently, saw this rotation. So we'll go ahead and kind of zoom on in down into this area, probably somewhere in this region right here, it looks like, now south and of 275. We're potentially seeing some more of that rotation. Maybe it looks like along the Old Augusta Central Road where we're seeing some of that. So this is going to continue to work its way generally out towards the east here. So Purrysburg Road, let's say Beck's Ferry Road, this is going to be moving over into your region here, crossing over 321 as you get into eastern areas there of parts of Effingham County now, and we're still going to see that rotation, which is going to be crossing out in from Effingham County into Jasper County as you get in between Deerfield and the Morgan and the Hardeeville region. That's where we're seeing the rotation still embedded in this area here as it continues to work its way eastward. Again, confirmed tornado reported over into the Effingham County area near Ebenezer. That was from a trained spotter. So this was a confirmed tornado. We're still looking at rotation. We could still see that rotation making its way down to the ground. And if not, we're still seeing some very strong winds associated with this. So safe shelters. We talked about this for a while. Safest place to be in a tornado warning, lowest level of your home. That means a two-story home, you're down at the bottom. We don't have basements here, so what we say is get in the interior room, interior bathroom, an interior closet. You want as many walls in between you and the outside as possible to protect yourself from any of this flying debris. So there's a look at the warning. We'll put the warning back on here just to show you if you're just tuning in right now. We do have that tornado warning. Still for Effingham and Jasper County. It goes through 8 o'clock. Another 9 minutes from now, that warning is going to continue for those areas for this confirmed tornado we had into Effingham County. We are looking at a lot of the wind associated with this. We had the warning for Bullitt County. You are gone. You are out of that tornado warning. Pinora, Guyton, you are cleared. Springfield, you are cleared of that warning for right now because the circulation has moved out of Springfield. It's moving away from Rincon, and it's really going to be heading over towards Hardeeville and into the Deerfield area where we're seeing that potential for some of that rotation. And we look at that as we look at the velocity right now, and you see that little bow in that reflectivity. That's indicating some very strong gusty winds associated with that. So there is a look at the velocities again, and you can see that it looks like it has kind of moved out possibly into parts of Jasper County, north of Hardeeville, crossing over in the Savannah River. We're seeing some of that rotation potentially here along this line where the red is indicating winds going away from the radar located in northern Jasper County, and greens, which are winds which are going towards the radar. heading into it looks like the Becks Ferry Road, 321 area, the Kiefer Road, Honey Hill Road, and it looks like the old, what is that, Old Habersham? What is that? I didn't see it. It was just to the north under the banner.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. It is Old Charleston Highway. That's where we are looking at some of that rotation potentially moving into the area as of right now. So we're still seeing some very tremendous winds. See the darker reds in there and the darker greens? That's indicating some very strong winds. We can look at some of the velocities embedded in there, and that is looking at winds going towards the radar, away from the radar. Where they meet, that's where we get some type of rotation embedded in that system. And we had reports of a tree down over into the Leafield area. Haven't heard of any reports over into Effingham County right now.
But I did just curious if we do have a confirmed tornado from Ebenezer Road to Rincon and along 21. I want to put the correlation coefficient. We talked a little bit about that to see if the difference between rain and something that may not be rain, something that may be lofted into the air. So let's go ahead and put this the last 30 minutes and see if there's anything that kind of signifies maybe some damage, maybe something picked up and thrown. And I don't see a big signature on this from Ebenezer Road to Rincon, but that doesn't mean that it didn't happen. Hopefully it was brief, and hopefully it did not impact too many people, as a trained storm spotter said that he saw, or she saw, a tornado over Ebenezer moving east at 45 miles an hour. The spotter reported the tornado along Highway 21. So let's continue to talk about where it is now, and we'll have crews out in Effingham County and maybe some confirmation of anything out there. We are looking at that line bowing through Jasper County and making its way into the Bluffton area as well. Bluffton, you are not in that tornado warning. We'll put the alerts back on and show, Bluffton is, yes, okay. So Bluffton, you are in this new tornado warning, and this tornado warning lasts until 8:15. It is moving at 45 miles an hour to the east, and it is quickly moving across I-95. You're probably already getting the rain in the Okatee area. Let's go all of Bluffton. So pretty much from Pritchard all the way down 46, Bluffton, the heart of Bluffton proper. This is Buckwalter. So 278 to 46, all of that encompassed in this tornado warning. Argent Boulevard, 278 from the car dealerships all the way to 170 North, crossing the Broad River. It does include Laurel Bay, Beaufort, and Port Royal. So this is moving very quickly, and we'll go back to the radar and show you that this is moving quickly out of the Hardeeville area and down 170 and 278. So this is going to encompass pretty much all of south of the Broad. Hilton Head, you are not in that tornado warning, but still you will get some of that storm. So we'll put that velocity back on, and we will see where the best view of the winds are right now, which looks like they're just near Deerfield, the Morgan area, crossing 321 and crossing I-95. We talked about if you were in a severe weather situation and if you were driving and if you could see it. At this point in time, I think it's pretty dark out there. It's been cloudy all day. This could be rain wrapped. So if you know anybody who's traveling along 95, 17, they need to pull over, get off on exit 5, get off on exit 8, get to a gas station, get into the bathroom. The car isn't the safest place to be, and definitely not as it's crossing a major highway on I-95 and 17 in Jasper County.
And the storm continues, as you mentioned, to move quickly out towards the east at 45 miles per hour. So that's why it's moving out of the Effingham County area, which is good news for them. But it's more into Jasper County right now and eventually moving on into parts of Beaufort County. So those are the next ones we're going to be watching. And we're looking at the timing of this here, getting into the Pritchard area around that 8 o'clock time frame, another 4 minutes from now. The Pinckney Colony about 8:10 in the Bluffton area at least starting to get into the western sides of there about 8:12 as it continues to work quickly towards the east here. I think we just updated the scan right there. Let's see if we can take a look at that and see what the latest scan is showing. Again, we get scans in here every couple of minutes. We're in the fast mode here, which is going to update these storms very quickly right now. And we're looking at the storm. It looks like it's already passed or crossing over at least Interstate 95 and continue to work along the 278 area in between it, maybe even towards the Hardeeville and the Limehouse area, heading up into the 278 region and quickly making its way out towards the east.
Tornado was located over Curtisburg. So that was where we tracked it, right across the river. So It does have the potential to continue through Hardeeville if it's moving at that rate.
Yeah, and that's where we are seeing the circulation associated with this. Again, the reds and the greens next to each other. They continue to show that in this general area here. Now to the east, it looks like of Hardeeville along South Carolina 141, which is really as you get over towards Interstate 95 and continue to make its way. It's going to move down, it looks like 278 as it continues to get over towards the Pinckney Colony area, and maybe even over towards kind of northern areas of the Pritchard along 170. So we continue to see this here working over towards the Bailey's Landing, the Jasper region. This is where we're going to be talking about being in your safe shelter, lowest level of your home, away from any windows. You want as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. Tradition Avenue, Johns Road, Shoebrook Road, over towards Hampton Point Loop Road, where we are seeing that along into the Sun City area even, along 170 and 278 into the Sun City region here. Looks like the rotation is going to be coming very close to your area here shortly as we continue to see that work over Interstate 95 and make its way into Jasper and Beaufort counties right now. So again, if you're watching in Bullock and Effingham County, it looks like the rotation has moved out of your area. We're now focusing on into the low country where we do have that circulation continuing right now. And this is a confirmed tornado, so this is a tornado-producing storm, which has a history of producing the rotation making its way all the way down to the ground. So we need to take this one seriously as we go down into 278, heading out of the Hardeeville area right now, east of Interstate 95. We're seeing a lot of that. There's the bow, which we're talking about here. This is a look at the reflectivity showing where you have the rain. Anytime you see that bow with the rain moving this way, the storm moving that way, that's a lot of wind energy coming down from the storm, hitting the ground, and then pushing out. And that's where we see some of the strongest winds. And with that, we could potentially be seeing still that rotation embedded in the storm, especially it looks like 278, maybe a little bit further north of 278 as well. We're seeing some of that. What about any of the hail embedded in there? Are we seeing any hail reports associated with this?
Hail reports. Let me put a hail tracker on here.
It's in the next one over in the tracker.
And right there.
Yeah, and then we're looking at that. Not so much in the way of a big hail threat out there, but we are still looking at that with a lot of wind energy associated with it. So even if your area doesn't see that rotation, you're going to get some of the strong gusty winds, 40-plus mile-per-hour winds. It looks like heading into Hardeeville, they'll be moving into the Bluffton area, Sun City, Jasper, Fripp Landing. This is all going to be moving into your area very shortly. Time now is 8 o'clock, and the warning does go for another 15 minutes, which includes Jasper and into Beaufort County right now. That is, you can see it, including Hardeeville, into the Bluffton area, down 278. Even northern areas of Hilton Head are under this warning. Beaufort, west side, you are under that warning, including in the Port Royal and Laurel Bay and Fripp Landing area. You are all under this tornado warning going through that 8:15 time frame.
Weakening, but they're not going to expire this because of that bow action, that bowing of the storm. Even if there's no rotation, these winds are pretty serious. So now it's really encompassing all of Bluffton. So if you live along May River Road, you're not seeing a lot of lightning. I see one lightning strike along May River Road back toward Levy and one along 170 in the Okatee area. But this is is all of Bluffton. So if you're, in the farm area, it looks really bad in Sun City, all of Sun City. If you're at Buckwalter Parkway, if you are in downtown Bluffton, heading toward the Wharf Street, this is in your neighborhood. This is Rosedew Plantation. The bulk of the storm making its way from 170 to 46. 278 is seeing that heavy rainfall as well. And you know what? We could look at some of the cameras with our Beaufort Government Sky Cams. I'm sure they're watching that very carefully as they're in this chat too. We are looking at the circulation beginning to kind of wind down from this storm. However, the tornado warning for Hardeeville, I think Hardeeville, you're in the clear now. But the tornado warning is still for all of Bluffton, Fripp Landing, all the way down 278, heading toward the north end of the island where Hilton Head Island High School is and the airport is. It does include Port Royal, it does include Beaufort, but it looks like the rotation is really kind of coming undone, if you will. So we'll go back to velocity, and I think it looks a lot different than it used to. Dave?
Yeah, and we're still seeing that potential here. It's more broad rotation now moving to the east of the Hardeeville area. Kind of hard to pick out one exact spot where that rotation is, but it looks like it's going to be moving here into the Jasper region along 278. That's where we're looking at the potential for some of that rotation embedded in there. But again, it does appear to be a little bit weaker. Besides these storms, as far as this tornado warning, we do have some new severe thunderstorm warnings moving back in with those storms working in from the west. So there's a lot of other wind energy. You can see those new severe thunderstorm warnings here from Effingham County into Bullock County, extending down to the Pembroke area. We'll put the radar back on just to show you what we have with those storms right now. And that's going to show you another line of some thunderstorms here. Not a lot of lightning associated with these, but very strong winds, and we see that continue to make its way towards the east. So Pembroke, and then we're moving into parts of Chatham County. So a very stormy evening. But the main concern right now, of course, is that tornado warning, which we've been tracking for quite some time. Started in Bullock County, moved through Effingham, Jasper, and now it's into parts of Beaufort County right now. And that warning still goes through that 8:15 time frame. But as Jamie mentioned, the Weather Service is watching this and monitoring this as well. They're the ones that put out the warnings associated with this storm. And it looks like that circulation has been weakening just a bit, but still tremendous amounts of wind associated with that. And you can see that with the pinks represented here. So a lot of wind energy associated with this storm. But it looks like some of that circulation here is continuing to work its way out towards the east-northeast, heading now to the east of the Jasper region, still kind of south of the Fripp Landing area and along 278. Very gusty winds associated with this. Moving right over, it looks like the Sun City area, especially here in the Colonel Thomas Hayward Road, Red Dam Road, over at Landing Lane, Biltmore Drive. Very strong winds associated with that. We can see some of the velocity. If you put a little tracker on there or a little query on that pink velocity, that's going to show you that we have, 60-mile-per-hour wind that's a little bit aloft into the air where the radar beam is hitting that, but certainly a lot of that wind energy can make its way down to the ground. So easily 50-plus mile-per-hour winds moving through your area. And again, as far as that tornado warning, we still have that tornado warning going through 8:15, another 10 minutes from now, into parts of Beaufort County, especially here. It looks like it's north of 278. There's another one of those stronger velocities here, just west of 462, near the Jasper Station Road, seeing some of the stronger velocities south of Riley Field Road as well, where 462 and 170 split. And we continue to see that activity working its way towards the east. This is where we have the circulation not as pronounced as of right now, but certainly is producing a lot of the winds, and that's what the Weather Service was saying. They're not seeing that tight rotation or that they had with this storm at the past as it was moving through Effingham and into Jasper County. And now that it's moving into parts of Beaufort County, it appears to be unwinding just a little bit. Now, hopefully that trend continues. So we're going to be continuing to watch this time right now is 8:06, and with that, we still have a lot of storms to come because we have more severe thunderstorm warnings behind that initial area. But these are not tornadic at this time, but a lot of wind energy associated with the storms.
Yes, I just got word in from Emergency manager in Effingham County, where there was a trained storm spotter that said that the spotter said that there was a confirmed tornado somewhere between Ebenezer and the city of Rincon. So thinking right here along 21 and Ebenezer Road. The emergency manager reports a tree down along the 500 block of West Central Boulevard, but that was in Guyton. It was warned in Guyton, and that's along the city. That is the main thoroughfare of Central Boulevard of Guyton. 17 is called Central Boulevard. And you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, so kind of another round on the way for you guys in West Effingham County. It's still gusty winds, so if you did lose power, hopefully you're watching on our First Alert app. Maybe you have a First Alert weather radio. I strongly suggest having one of those if you have gone through anything like this. Very helpful, especially if you lose power, because that thing will talk to you all day until you turn it off. So it's very helpful. Once again, we are tracking a tornado warning until 8:15, and that was the one that was triggered in Bullitt County, crossed into Effingham. A confirmed spotter says that the spotter said 275 or Ebenezer Road to Rincon. And Purrysburg also report of a tornado in that area along 321 from Deerfield to Hardyville. And so we're going to go back to the velocity. It's probably had another scan since we kind of reset. And we're still seeing some very gusty winds, and still in the Sun City area, Dave. This is just west of 170. So Colonel Thomas Hayward Road, Red Dam Road, Argent Way, that's Sun City Boulevard right there. So hopefully everybody in Sun City is staying safe, and that's a little higher than what we saw just a couple of minutes ago. It was a 60-mile-per-hour velocity, and again, not 60-mile-per-hour winds. Maybe that's higher into the atmosphere, but you know, when you talk about upper-level winds being pulled down to the surface, that is possible. And in the Okatee area, just west of 170 and Coosaw Scenic Highway or 462, a velocity of 58. Rotation, not very visible, Dave.
Yeah, I'm not seeing much in the way of that rotation as of right now. I'm looking at it as you are here. We are definitely seeing the very strong winds in here. So a lot of times when you get these very strong winds, you can easily get a quick little spin up. And I think that's what happened with this storm as it moved out of Bullock and Effingham County and into Jasper County right now. And you can see the very strong winds associated with that. As Jamie was showing, the velocities there well over 60 miles per hour. That could easily translate close to the 55 to 60 mile per hour winds at the surface, which makes that a severe thunderstorm. You need at least 58 mile per hour winds and or 1-inch hail. We're not really seeing the hail, but we are definitely seeing the winds associated with this system. So there's the warning. Again, I think we're okay if you're west of Interstate 95. It's more east now, heading into the Bluffton area where we're watching a lot of the potential rotation associated with this. Severe thunderstorm warning now in here for parts of Beaufort County as well, extending into the Beaufort, Port Royal, Hilton and Island area. That goes through 9:15. That's for the same line of storms, which is continuing to produce that tornado warning. I would assume if they have a severe thunderstorm warning just issued there, that they would allow the tornado warning to expire and turn into that severe thunderstorm warning. I think that's what the thinking is going to be with that warning issue there, instead of extending that tornado warning like they did out of Effingham and into Jasper and Beaufort counties.
Right now, we're just getting reports from emergency management. They are letting, you beat them, Dave. They are letting the tornado warning expire for that portion of Beaufort County. So Bluffton, not necessarily in the clear. We're still seeing those very, very, very strong damaging winds. So that was the main concern today, damaging winds. But we are still seeing those as it continues to kind of march through all of Bluffton down to 78. And that's why the severe thunderstorm warning is for pretty much all of Beaufort County. The tornado warning has expired. I'm going to go back. I'm going to show the alerts that we have. We're going to kind of reset here. This tornado warning has expired, so don't mind that. That red severe thunderstorm warning, Shawnee, Pembroke, down through Tattnall and Long County, and our low country down through Savannah and Highway 80 out to Tybee, seeing that severe thunderstorm warning. We will continue with regular programming right now, but if we have another tornado warning, we will stay with it for you.